In recent interviews since departing Marvel Studios, James Gunn has talked about the ups and downs, and of course, some of the decisions that went into many choices that were made with various pieces of content in the MCU. The latest update is on Adam Warlock, and James Gunn saying that he felt pressured to include the character, even though if he didn't know what exactly to do with him. So once again, this comes at us from James Gunn, who was doing the rounds, doing interviews, talking about Guardians 3, the development, of course, the firing and everything like that. And he further talked a little bit more about the direction that Guardians 3 went in, and he was asked about Adam Warlock's inclusion and why the character sort of doesn't have a lot of time, even though he was obviously built up at the end of Guardians 2 as a major player down the road. And he said that this was one of those decisions that he felt like he was pressured to include Adam Warlock and just had to include him in there. One, as payoff to Guardians 2, but two, as payoff to the fans, and three, as payoff to Marvel Studios because he put him in there and he knows he needs to set something up where they can use Adam Warlock in the future. So he said that there was multiple factors that contributed to this and him feeling under pressure to include the character. And ultimately, what we get is, well, let's be honest, a brief first appearance by Adam Warlock that now leaves him with a more or less clean slate for Marvel Studios to do anything they want with. And he says that that was sort of the idea he had going into it anyway. And that as part of Guardians 2, that was sort of the idea. Include him here in Guardians 3 initially. They were going to just build the character up and then whatever happened down the road happened. Now remember, at that time, James Gunn probably still figured he was going to stay with Marvel Studios because he was never talking to DC. So I can understand what he's saying here, and, you know, it's very valid. Of course he felt pressure to include him because imagine if Guardians 2 ends, hey, look, we're teasing Adam Warlock. We get to part 3, he's never there, never mentioned, just missing. Everybody would be like, okay, James Gunn, what's with the failure? And then Marvel Studios would have to do it elsewhere, and it would just get complicated and messy. So, yeah, I think he pulled it off the best he could with the limited amount of time the character was given, since the story had to focus on literally all the other Guardians. So, there we go.